Do you ever find yourself questioning your partner's behavior, wondering if something's just not right? What if I told you that there are subtle signs, inspired by the teachings of Miyamoto Musashi, that could reveal the truth? In this video, we're diving deep into the 7 actions that might indicate your partner is cheating, and how the wisdom of an ancient samurai can help you see through the deception. Lesson 1. Sudden increase in privacy. Every connection starts with trust. Even in the art of war, Musashi would have known this to be true. In the same way that a soldier has to trust his fellow soldiers, a couple has to trust each other. If one partner suddenly wants more privacy, that could be a sign that something is wrong. Often, this change in behavior means that something is wrong. Imagine that your partner used to leave their phone lying around, but now they keep it locked and out of sight. Or maybe they've become more private about what they do online, like suddenly putting passwords on devices or leaving the room to answer the phone. Even though these things may not seem like they have anything to do with you, your partner may be trying to hide something from you. Musashi shows us how important it is to pay attention. In his Book of 5 Rings, he talks about how important it is to notice small changes in the world around you, because they often mean that something big is about to happen. In the same way, sudden changes in behavior in a relationship, like wanting more space, should not be ignored. These changes could mean that your partner isn't as loyal as they used to be. So, it's important to think clearly and patiently about the situation before coming to any decisions. Musashi thought that it was important to think things through calmly before acting. Instead of making charges at your partner, think about what they were doing at the time. Is there a good reason for them wanting more privacy, like stress at work or personal problems? Or does the way they act match up with other signs that they are cheating? If this change in privacy comes with other behaviors that worry you, it might be time to have an open talk with your partner. Musashi would say to deal with this problem by being understanding and planning ahead. You can handle this task with strength and wisdom if you understand your partner's point of view and keep your cool. Lesson 2. Frequent unexplained absences. In a relationship, being away doesn't always make the heart grow fonder. If your partner starts to spend more time away from home and gives you unclear or inconsistent reasons, it could mean that something is wrong. This kind of behavior could show up as sudden work commitments, late nights out, or trips that you can't explain. At first glance, these reasons may seem reasonable, but the fact that they happen so often and don't go into much explanation could mean that your partner is seeing someone else. Miyamoto Musashi was a grandmaster of strategy. He knew that everything you do has a reason, and you have to be careful with every move you make. In relationships, gaps that you can't explain could mean that your partner is trying to get away from you. Their absences are a way to make space between you because they may be looking for mental or physical fulfillment somewhere else. So, Musashi's lessons also stress how important it is to pay attention and time things correctly. In fight, it's important to know how your opponent moves and what patterns they follow. In the same way, it's important to watch how your partner acts over time if you're in a partnership. Do these absences happen more often? Do the reasons seem to change or not make sense? Are they not wanting to spend time with you or make plans with you? These patterns can tell you a lot about their goals. You should also think about what your partner says when you ask them about these gaps. Do they get angry, give you unclear answers, or try to change the subject? The way people respond can tell you a lot. Musashi thought that intuition was powerful and that people should follow their guts. It's likely that something is wrong if it feels that way. Musashi also taught people to be patient and not jump to conclusions. Take some time to gather your thoughts and think about the bigger picture before you talk to your partner. Does it seem possible that these gaps have a good reason? Or do they fit with other signs of cheating? Take a moment to think about the problem before you decide to do anything about it. You can use Musashi's advice on how to stay calm under pressure to help you have a good talk. You can handle the problems that lie ahead better if you look at them with understanding and strength. Lesson 3. Change in appearance. When warriors are in the heat of fight, their looks can tell you a lot about how they're feeling. Miyamoto Musashi knew this very well and often said that an opponent's behavior could show what they were planning or how determined they were. In relationships, too, a sudden and unexplained change in appearance can be a sign of greater problems, like cheating. If your partner starts buying new clothes, changing their hairstyle, or spending more time at the gym for no apparent reason, it could mean that they are trying to impress someone else. While it's normal and healthy to try to get better, if they make a big change that you can't explain, it could mean that they are looking for approval or attention outside of the relationship. Musashi's lessons stress how important it is to be aware and pay attention. As a warrior must be aware of how their opponent moves and looks, you should also be aware of how your partner's behavior and looks change. At first, these changes may not be very noticeable, but they may become more noticeable over time. It's important to think about why these changes are happening. Does your partner seem to be dressing up more for work lately, even though it's not required? Do they spend more time getting ready before going out, even if it's just to run some errands? The way they act could mean they are trying to impress a new person. In the same way, Musashi teaches us not to judge too quickly. If you change the way you look, it could be for many reasons, like wanting to get better or dealing with worry. Before you approach your partner, think about what their behavior means in a bigger picture. Are there other signs of cheating along with these changes, like more privacy or gaps that can't be explained? Keep an open mind, and don't get angry if you decide to talk about it. Musashi thought that clear speech and strategic thinking could make things happen. You can better understand your partner's thoughts and feelings if you approach the situation with respect and understanding. Lesson 4. Emotional distance. At the heart of every friendship is an emotional connection. If this link starts to fade, it could mean that your partner is thinking about someone else. People who are emotionally distant often don't want to spend time with each other, stop making loving moves, or feel generally distant. In his drive for mastery, Miyamoto Musashi knew how important it was to be in tune with both his weapon and the flow of battle. This connection is just as important in partnerships. A partner who is mentally distant is like a soldier who loses focus on the battlefield. They are pulling away from the relationship. This mental distance could be a hint that your partner is cheating on you. Your partner might care about someone else mentally, which would make them less interested in or motivated in the relationship. They may stop telling you what they're thinking and feeling, show less love, or seem uninterested in doing things you used to enjoy doing together. To be aware of changes in energy and attention, Musashi tells us, losing focus in fight can be fatal. In relationships, emotional distance can do the same thing. It's important to notice these changes and think about what they might mean. So, Musashi also thought it was important to know yourself. Think about your relationship as a whole before you jump to the worst conclusion. Have things outside of this relationship caused this mental distance, like stress at work or personal problems? Or does this space fit with other signs of cheating? If you choose to talk about it, do so with kindness and respect. You can use Musashi's advice to stay calm under pressure to help you have a good talk. By showing your partner that you understand how they feel, you can open the lines of communication and maybe even get back in touch emotionally. Lesson 5. Defensive behavior. Someone who knows the art of war knows when to attack and when to protect. Miyamoto Musashi, who was very good at planning, knew that being defensive can often mean you are weak. When someone in a relationship gets too defensive, it could mean that they are hiding something, like cheating on you. When your partner feels scared or exposed, they are more likely to act defensively. If they get angry when you ask them simple questions, try to avoid taking responsibility, or say you're being crazy, it could mean they are trying to hide something from you. Being defensive can be a way for them to take the attention off of what they did and put it on you, which can lead to misunderstanding and doubt. Musashi shows us how important it is to stay clear and focused, even when someone is angry. It's important to know when someone is being guarded as a way to avoid taking responsibility in a relationship. Watch what your partner does when you tell them about your worries. Do they dodge the question, change the subject, or talk about you again? This kind of action can tell you a lot. Because of this, it's also important to treat the situation with compassion and understanding. Musashi thought that observing and thinking about something before doing it could be very helpful. Think about whether your partner's defensiveness is because they feel bad or ashamed, or could it be a sign of bigger problems in the relationship, like unsolved problems or feelings of insecurity. If you do decide to talk to your partner, make sure you are cool and ready. You can use Musashi's lessons on strategic thinking to help you handle this tough talk. You can deal with the problem directly and find the truth if you stay calm and focused. Lesson 6. Unexplained expenses. In the world of the samurai, resources were carefully planned and used to get the most out of them. Miyamoto Musashi knew that being careless and wasting things could bring him down. In partnerships, being honest about money is just as important. If your partner starts spending money on things you can't explain, it could mean they're cheating on you. Unexpected costs could show up as strange charges on credit card bills, disappearing funds from joint accounts, or purchases that don't fit with how your partner normally spends their money. These differences in money could mean that your partner is buying gifts, going on trips, or having parties with other people. Musashi taught that being aware and paying attention to details are very important. When you're in a relationship, knowing about your finances and noticing any strange trends can help you understand how your partner acts. Are there fees for gifts, meals, or hotels that you didn't know about? Is it possible to take cash without giving a clear reason? These signs might mean your partner is keeping something from you. So, Musashi also thought it was important to think about things and understand them. Before you approach your partner, you might want to see if there is a good reason for these costs. Could they have something to do with work, a personal project, or a gift they wanted to keep a secret from you? Or do these costs fit with other signs of cheating? If you do decide to deal with it, make sure you are cool and clear-headed. You can have a good conversation by following Musashi's theory of strategic thinking. You can better handle the problems and find the truth if you go into the situation with an open mind and an understanding heart. Lesson 7. Lack of intimacy. Intimacy is what holds a relationship together, which is something that Musashi would have known even though he taught different things. In the same way that a warrior needs to be in tune with his weapon, a couple needs to be in tune with each other mentally and physically. If you feel less close to each other, it could mean that something is wrong. If your partner suddenly stops touching you or changes how they act sexually, it could mean that they are thinking about someone else. They might say they're too tired or stressed to do it, or they might show less love in general. It's possible that their lack of closeness is a sign that they are looking for mental or physical satisfaction somewhere else. Musashi shows us how important it is to be connected and aware. Being aware of changes in closeness in a relationship can help you understand how your partner feels and acts. If your partner suddenly wants to be physically close to you less, you should think about what could be causing this change. It's also important to treat the problem with understanding and empathy. Musashi thought that thinking about things and being patient could help you. Before thinking the worst, think about whether this lack of closeness is caused by something outside of the relationship, like stress at work, health problems, or personal problems. Or does this change fit with other signs that someone is cheating? If you choose to talk about it, do so with kindness and respect. You can have a good talk by following Musashi's advice on how to stay calm and communicate clearly. Approaching your partner with understanding can open the door to a conversation and help you get back to a more personal level. It takes wisdom, patience, and a deep understanding of how people work to get through the complicated parts of partnerships. We can look at the signs of cheating with clarity and strength if we use what Miyamoto Musashi taught us. The philosophy of Musashi, which focuses on observation, thought, and strategic thinking, can help us spot the small changes in behavior that could mean a partner is cheating. So, it's also important to deal with these problems with understanding and care. When someone cheats on their partner, the signs aren't always easy to spot. Just like Musashi would have told us, we can face these problems with knowledge and strength if we keep our minds calm. The end goal is not only to be able to spot these signs, but also to use what you've learned to keep your heart safe and make smart choices about your relationship. Musashi's teachings can help you face problems with courage and honesty, whether you're confronting a partner, trying to find a solution, or choosing to move on.